Hello, you beautiful people. So, did you just see the Caesar and Burnice drip marketing, and now you're probably curious about their kits and some other future characters too, right? Well, conveniently for you, you've somehow managed to land on the literal perfect video to get all that juicy info. Today, I'm going to tell you guys about some upcoming characters in ZZZ, and we'll also take a look at their elements and roles. Along with all that, we'll also discuss about which factions these new units belong to and their speculative release dates as well. Before we begin though, let me just quickly say the usual disclaimer that everything which I mention in this video is totally based on speculations by different sources, and it might be changed at any point of time, so take all this info with a massive grain of salt. With all that yapping being done, let's begin without wasting any more of your time or energy. Let's start with the drip marketed characters for patch 1.2, yeah? So, as of writing the script, Caesar and Burnice have been drip marketed as the new units for patch 1.2, and both of them belong to the Sons of Calydon faction. The only other members we have from this faction right now are Lucy and Piper. Starting with Caesar, she is going to be a physical type unit who plays the defensive role on your team, and she is going to be a new limited 5-star unit. If we go by the drip marketing order, she is going to be featured on a limited banner during the first half of patch 1.2, and her release date should be around September 25th. I'm quite curious about her kit though, because she is a defense unit at the end of the day. I guess we'll just let them cook for now. By the way, I'm going to upload a video on Caesar's and Burnice's kit in around a week, so do keep an eye out for that as well. Moving on to Burnice, she is going to be a fire-type character who mainly specializes in applying anomalies, and she is also going to be a 5-star limited unit. A lot of people were not sure about her rarity and thought she was 4-star, but we can already see that Burnice is labeled as a 5-star on the Korean website of Hoyoverse. I have to say though, I think she is by far my favorite character in this game aesthetically. I will just grab my Jane in patch 1.1 and then just go all in for Burnice when she releases. Again, going by the drip marketing order, Burnice is going to be featured in the second half of patch 1.2, and her release date should be around October 16th, if the patch schedule remains the same. Moving on, let's talk about another character from the Sons of Calydon faction, and this character is none other than Lighter. We saw him first during the opening trailer of ZZZ, and he can also be spotted as an NPC inside the game. Lighter is going to be a fire-type character, and his element makes a lot of sense considering what his name is. He plays the role of a main DPS, or an attack-type unit on your team, and this guy is supposed to be a 4-star character and not a 5 unit. A pretty reliable source did say that Lighter will make an appearance on the banners during patch 1.2, but some recent info says that he will be featured as a 4-star unit in patch 1.3 instead of 1.2. Yeah, we're not getting a new male unit up until patch 1.3, and I do feel bad for my fellow husbando lovers. Surely Harumasa will save us all, right? Welp, that's all the info on the upcoming units from the Sons of Calydon faction. Next up, let's take a look at another very popular faction, and to no one's surprise, the faction which I'm talking about is Squad 6, or Miyabi Squad. So, we've already seen all the members of the squad during the ZZZ launch trailer, and I already know that a lot of you guys are pretty hyped for them. The only playable member from this faction that we have right now is Sakaku, and the other members, namely Yanagi, Harumasa, and Miyabi, will be playable later down the line. Let's discuss a bit more about them before moving to some other units. So, starting with Yanagi, she is supposed to be an electric-type unit who specializes in applying anomalies just like Burnice. We can already see a bit of her gameplay during the story, but I won't spoil it for you, so don't worry about it. Previously, a pretty good source mentioned that Yanagi will be featured on the banners for the first time during patch 1.2, but after the drip marketing for 1.2, some other sources are saying that she will now be featured during patch 1.3 instead of 1.2. I think I like her design quite a lot, but I will probably need to skip her if Miyabi or Harumasa gets featured alongside her in 1.3. Seeing as I have already mentioned Harumasa, let's talk about him next. So, just like Yanagi, Harumasa is also supposed to be an electric-type unit who mainly plays the role of a main DPS or an attacker on your team. He was supposed to be featured alongside Yanagi in patch 1.2, but from what it looks like right now, he will either be featured during patch 1.3 or 1.4. I'm not going to lie, but I honestly think he should have been featured in patch 1.2, because I know that my fellow husbando lovers are starving right now. He is going to be an S-rank character, by the way, and I think it was kind of obvious from his design, yeah? Lastly, let's take a look at the leader of Squad 6, and this character is of course Miyabi. So, Miyabi is going to be an ice-type unit, and just like Harumasa, she also plays the role of a main DPS on your team. All of her kit info is from CBT1 though, and it's most likely outdated by now, so don't take any of it too seriously. I know that a lot of you guys are hyped for Miyabi, and trust me, I'm literally in the same boat right there with you. Her animations look way too good, and there's no way I'm skipping her or harumasa for that matter. A source did state that she will be featured on the banners in patch 1.4, but just take it as a guess for now because there is no way to confirm it. Well, that's pretty much it. That's all the info that we have right now on the upcoming units from Squad 6. Finally, let's take a look at the little bit on info that we have on some other characters. So, we're going to get a totally new faction in the patch 1.0 cycle, and this new faction is called the Idol faction. It was officially dripped by Hoyoverse around 3 months ago, and by looking at their designs, you can also call this faction a VTuber faction lol. Hoyo has also said that they will release a new song especially made for this faction, which kind of makes sense considering that this faction is literally called the Idol faction. Other than this, we will also see a new member from the Victoria household called Hugo Vlad. We don't really have any kind of info on him or his design, so I do apologize for that. Honestly though, I think it's a pretty good idea to keep adding new units to older factions, because this provides Hoyo the opportunity to keep the older factions relevant in the story. Lastly, we'll also see a new member joining the Obel Squad in the future, and this new member is called Trigger. If you don't know what the Obel Squad is, it's the faction Soldier 11 belongs to. All we know about this new member is that she uses a sniper rifle, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty curious about how they will include a sniper unit in the fast-paced combat of ZZZ, but we'll see it when it releases, I guess. Well, there you go. That's pretty much all the info that we have right now on the upcoming characters. I tried to compile different bits of info from different sources, so I really hope that you liked the video. I'm really curious though, who are you guys the most excited for? Personally, I'm getting Burnice, Miyabi, and Harumasa for sure, and I might get some other units along the way. Also, I didn't mention it before as it gets annoying, but if you liked the video, then do consider subscribing. With that being said, I hope you got what you were looking for, and I will see you in another one.